Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Adrian Show. You join me here live in our studios in London, and tonight we'll be talking through a variety of subjects because a lot has happened this weekend, certainly. And yeah, buckle up and let's get cracking. So let's address the elephant in the room. Well, for those of you unaware, today has been a big shift in my political career. I have defected from the Four-Star Party and resigned as chairman, and have defected over to the Cavalier Party, where I will be sitting as an MP going forwards and bringing what I can to the table. So it's quite a big move. It's definitely ruffled some feathers, as it were, and we've seen a lot of talk about it today. But yeah, that has happened, and a lot of you will be wondering why. Well, I have talked about it in my various statements and the little video I made for the defection. But long and short of it, it's been planned for some time, and I very much am confident in the leadership of Chocolate. He's a very good individual who I genuinely believes has the best interests at heart of the UK, and it wasn't a easy decision to make. I've made good friends within the Four-Star Party, but um, it's not. It's beyond that. It's about the nation and what's best for the country, and I think by I'm not going to do anything to benefit anyone by um, you know, um, just opposing him for no reason. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, and he's got what it takes to make the country, um, stronger. So where I can best put my talent to make the communities, it's going through a rough time. We've seen the Social Democrats run it into the ground. I still strongly oppose the Lord's Bath government for running it into the ground. And I think we finally have a government which is here and they're trying to do something a little bit different. Um, you know, it's gonna be something that we've got to. It's something we've got to do. We've got to turn things around, and I will play my part in doing that. I am very happy to do that. That's why I've defected. I may have lost the top job as chairman or what have you, but as I said, it's beyond that. It's not about my career. It's not about party politics. It's about what the nation needs, and I've got a lot to offer. I think I can bring what I've got to offer to the Cavaliers and sort of turn the tide a little bit, as it were. Um, and yeah, I think the government's done pretty well already. The budget's great. I mean, and that's a national chancellor. We'll get into that in a little bit. My thoughts on the budget. Um, but it's doing pretty well so far. Um, I'm sure there'll be areas where I can critique, but I'm quite confident in it so far, and I'm quite confident in Chocolate's leadership as well. Um, I've always respected him a lot. I've debated him on the show before, a long time ago actually, um, back during the sort of birth of my political career, as it were. Back when he was foreign secretary, and yeah, he's a solid guy, and I've worked very closely with him. We had the opposition budget that got put forwards between myself, obviously as the sort of Four-Star chancellor, as it were, shadowing the government side of things, and he was being the official shadow chancellor. It was pretty much just me and him that put that together. And we went through some things, and a lot of it actually ended up getting incorporated into the actual budget itself, which is great to see. I was told that would happen, and I think it was around the time those talks of me being told that would happen that I was like, oh, okay, I'll just jump ship then. But yeah, so that's it's good to see. We worked well. He's a good guy, so that's why I've made that decision. I've also talked a little bit about the direction I think the party's going in, or Four-Star Party rather. So I've been played a big part in the party alongside people like Davis and Hemswright and uh, so on and so on and so forth. Who's so on? I don't know what I'm talking about. Rob as well. That's the party board. And I still hold a lot of respect for them all, but the way the party's been going, I don't really want to be affiliated to that. I'm sure you've all seen the pictures of the goings on last night and the 13 uniforms they've introduced, and the thing I didn't like as well, just prior to that, was the 4-star front being set up within 24 hours, not even 24 hours after a petition was made by a 4-star MP, the same 4-star MP who set up the 4-star front to try and ban paramilitaries from existing. It was sort of like, oh, let's put a petition in to try and ban it. Chancellor says no, even though that's the Chancellor, not the Home Secretary. So let's just go and make our own one then, and trot about as that. So I wasn't too keen on that. A lot of people aren't too keen on that, but we'll see what happens there. But I think, yeah, it's just a case of where I think the 4-star party, I like the sort of like, you know, right wing element of it, but it's going a little bit down the wrong, you know, path of that, if you will, and yeah, it's time for me to step away from that and move elsewhere. And also in terms of what I want to accomplish as well, as I said, by this move I want to help be part of a government that will change things and make the nation stronger and better. And sitting on the opposition benches isn't going to get me very far in doing that, term after term after term, and rejecting bills that are perfectly fine just for the sake of party politics and exaggerating things. It's not going to get the country very far. I do like noise in the political system. But, you know, it's great to see lots of debate and so on. I love it. And colourful campaigns and attack ads and stuff. And I think we're starting to see everything come back to life again, which is great. But I think my time and my assets and what I have to bring is best invested in a government that will, you know, go and deliver for the people and has a strong electoral mandate behind it. And yeah, if I'm honest, that's where that sits at. On the state of things regarding to the Falklands branch, since that's something I was very much commanding, I have stepped down as party leader of that as well. In line with the party constitution, a leadership election must occur, and the electoral commissioner Xbox has deemed that he would just disqualify it from running for this election. So that's his decision, not mine, because there is no leader at this time. So a leadership election will be conducted there, I would assume. I've transferred server ownership over to Davis and everything, so he's got control of that. But I will still be running this election. I've registered as an independent candidate, so I will be running for chief executive. So if you do live in the Falklands and you do want to see an active chief executive and have had enough of the decay it's been facing and want a little taste of what I can bring to the table, go and stick your vote in. Adrian Williams, whenever the election is. But yeah, that's that on that front of things, the Falklands front. So yeah, WilliamsTV still going to be going strong, still going to be going strong with the Adrian show. 4-star live, I've issued a statement on that. That's, well, they're welcome to continue that with somebody else, but that's not on WilliamsTV anymore. But as I said, they're welcome to continue that. I like the thing I loved about it the most was the years and years LARP. I loved it. It was great. So if they want to go and do that, they can go and do that elsewhere, because, you know, but not on WilliamsTV. But yeah, that's all that. It feels like a divorce, you know. I feel like I've gone off with another woman, but not quite. Anyway, moving onwards then. That's sort of the main things I want to talk about party-wise. If anyone has any questions or wishes to debate me on my decisions, do feel free to send me a DM. I do love a good debate. I think that's what makes the show interesting, is when I have people on. So do hit me up with a DM if you'd like to come on and have a little discussion or debate about things. I can already see I've got a DM, so we'll see who that is. Oh, we've got Bruce. He's cool. I'll give him a call and we'll bring him into the studios in just a moment. I'll send him a link to that. Since I know he was wanting to talk earlier, So yeah, he will be bringing Bruce into the studio, someone who's been on the show several times before. And once he's in here, we'll have a chat to him. Because I didn't realize he was in the Cavaliers until today, so I'll be interested to see when he moved over, because I was completely um, unaware of that he was there. So it'd be interesting why he moved as well, because he's moved around parties quite a bit. He went Solidarity, Four Star, Solidarity, and now presumably Cavaliers, unless there's any steps I've missed. So I'm calling him just now. Do believe he's just entered our studios. So do take a seat on the little bench next to me, and then we are awaiting him to arrive. He should be here. Hello, hello. How are you,
Hello.
Bruce?
Hi, great to be on. I think I'm still in your lobby.
I love it. If you go down to the entrance where the uh, doors are, and then walk
Ah,
through
right.
that
I
door.
see.
Yeah, there
I
you
see.
go.
Hello. Hello.
Hello,
Great to
hello.
be
How
here.
how are you doing?
I'm grand. It seems you've had an eventful day.
You
It
know what? It
is
has
good to
been.
hear.
I've had actually, yeah, I've had a lot of DMs. They didn't all come out at once like I was expecting, but they've slowly come out over time, and things and whatnot. So it's been a busy day, as
Hmm.
expected. But yes, it's
Well,
it's.
I'm glad you made the right decision. You made the right decision. First of all, welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you,
um,
thank you.
but I think at the end of the day, you left a fascist party, and I think that should be applauded. But I also think that just generally, this is what happens when you give a far right party that has no plan to save this country any power, if you get what I mean.
Hmm. I mean, I
I
wouldn't.
mean,
I
the,
don't know if I'd go so far to label it as far right in terms of its standings, but I do think I mean, we've all seen the pictures
they
of what
did,
happened yesterday. It's definitely a
they,
step
they
that
did
way.
do a lot. They did wear certain clothes that
I did.
mention a certain political party that did some bad shit. But, moving on from that. But, like, I think they've caused a lot of chaos in Parliament, as I've been hearing.
Hmm. Yes, it has done. I mean, I was away yesterday. I was on a lovely Valentine's date with my girlfriend. So I come back home and I
Ooh.
see all of this happen. I'm like, fucking hell, there's a lot going on here. I mean, my defection had been in the process long before then. I think it was not the Friday
Mm,
just gone, but the one before, where that had all been sorted out. Um,
mm,
but yeah, that's where that stands at the minute.
mm,
But yeah, I saw that yesterday. I was like, okay, yeah, it's time to accelerate the defection, you know.
mm.
But yeah, it's not something I want
Well,
to deflate it
I
with.
mean, you did make the right decision. I mean, personally, Chocolate is a good prime minister. I mean, I think that when you have people who bring calm and stability in government, that's what the country needs. And what we're seeing from the opposition at the moment is that they are going around screaming in Parliament, demanding resignations left, right, and centre because they didn't like the decision the deputy speaker made, and it only shows they're not ready for government. I mean, what we have done in government is basically just keep our heads cool, do the hard work, and make sure that we're there to serve the people. I mean, we passed an amazing budget yesterday, and I mean, we're going to do a lot more. I think we can do a lot more in the upcoming coming term.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree. It's great to have a prime minister, and he's going to be stable, good. He knows what he's
Yeah.
doing. He's a great individual. I've talked
Mm,
about that already on the show, but I do hold a
yeah.
lot of respect for the prime minister. And I think he's genuinely got the best interests of the nation at heart, which I is why
Mm.
I've come over. I have the same interest as well. I want to see the UK do well. He wants to see the UK do well. It makes no sense for
And
us to work
we
against
want a
each other.
UK that
Exactly,
is conservative to the core.
exactly. I mean, I've always been more on the sort of moderate end of four star, um,
Mm.
but
But yeah. Mm.
it's
Well, I mean,
it's
No, go ahead. Sorry.
it's good to see, a strong, stable government. And again, the budget as well, I was very impressed by that. I will talk about that more later on. And I know that's Adapter's budget, but there's been liaising between both sides. In fact, some of it even stems from that original opposition budget I worked on with Chocolate as well. So,
Mm,
it's sort of
yeah.
all got similar views on that side. Um, but yeah, that's where that stands at. And it's good to.
And if I might add, Davos is still acting like Michael's still the leader of Cavalier. I mean, really is no much point of 4-star anymore, since their whole goal was to try and get Michael Rothschild out, and all they have done is basically bring chaos and confusion. And look, I mean, obviously, I don't mean to insult, your former colleagues, obviously, but I just think that when we saw with the Soc Dems, when they were confidence and supply agreement, it was all that's what we want, and that's, if you don't like it, we'll just vote against your government. And it appears we have some more people in the,
Hang on, I
But
do
Danny, can I
apologize. We have
ask?
some.
Oh,
We do have some people in the studio. Right.
mm,
Anyway, I will be turning the camera back on, since we've got the security in to deal with that. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
I was saying, was, do you think Davis was a good leader? Do you think that he made right decision by making his other MPs wear a certain outfit that was completely inappropriate and wrong?
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I left, was that situation. I mean, it came. I'd already made the choice in effect before that even came up, but it, very much reaffirmed why I was leaving. Um,
Mm,
because it wasn't an easy decision to make. I mean, I've worked very closely with these people. Um, we've been a very united party up until this point, and I do still
yeah.
hold respect for them despite the ongoings, because still I can look beyond that. Um, but I don't. I strongly condemn that sort of behaviour. I strongly condemn what they did.
Here, here,
I will be very clear on that.
here.
But as beyond, I'm not
Mm,
gonna say, oh, I hate them because of that, right? Um, but as a leader, Davis, I mean, he's yeah, we worked very well together. But that time's come to an end. That's just how I see it. We worked well together.
mm,
I got on with
mm,
him, but we're moving on from that now. And I think for me, the best spot to be is going to be in a spot where I'm in a party where I can make changes rather than
mm.
critique and
And the little video about your
and we're
defection, that
getting
was
we're
very.
getting raided by 4-star. They're all hopping
Ah,
into the
Jesus.
studios now. Hang
The
on.
force, the Gestapo. It's the Gestapo.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, the fact is that what we've seen the past couple of weeks has been chaos in Parliament. MPs acting like children, and our serious government is not being, able to actively have a good session where we can actively debate the topics. I mean, I haven't heard the full story yet, but I assume there has been a lot of chaos with, the whole deputy speaker, being forced out, which I think is wrong at the end of the day, because, he made a bad call. He apologized. I mean, it just didn't seem right to me that he had to get fired.
I mean, the deputy speaker thing, it's an interesting one because, again, I wasn't there for the motion of no confidence. I was there for the sitting where the chaos did occur, though. And I
Mm,
was actually speaking to Dean earlier this afternoon. We were just having a little catch up, us two, and we're talking about that sort of thing. And that did come up, and I would agree with him on this that, I don't like Terminer very much. I don't like him. We disagree on a lot of areas. I don't think he's particularly good at what he does.
mm,
But that said, I think at least give him a chance. He would probably be at the bottom of my list of people that I would have voted for deputy speaker. But I don't know. I would have given him at least like another sitting or two, because
Yeah,
Parliament is a very chaotic thing. That is something
yeah,
I want to talk about a little bit in this thing as well. But it's a very chaotic thing, very chaotic place, and
yeah. I mean, look, I
yeah,
haven't really talked to Termina at all. I don't really know him that well, but I think that you know, in fairness to him, he did go out and write a letter of apology. He did apologize, but personally, I don't have all the facts with me. I've actually speaking of, do you know what I've done recently? And Adrian,
yes. So I don't know how these people are
I
getting past my server lock, but anyway, sorry, you were saying.
I have recently ripped up my Irish citizenship, and I've left the whole server completely, so I'm back fully in Sovs. And I just think that they when I was in their government as foreign minister for a short amount of time, it just felt that they wanted to bring chaos. I mean, when I was trying to head up an attempted negotiation with them, but obviously, our Ireland had a lot of things that they wouldn't compromise on, so it really was very difficult to secure a peace deal, and I believe we still haven't. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I left. I mean, it was quite a toxic server.
Mm, yes, indeed. Now I do have a question for you as well, because
Ooh,
I didn't even realize that you'd come over to the Cavalier Party. I know you were on
I
the
did.
list of the manifesto for the Solidarity Party, as was one of their cabinet members. And then I think I recall you leaving and at some point. But when
I
did you
did.
come over to Cavaliers? Tell me about this whole process, because I knew you left the Solidarity Party, but I can't remember exactly why. So give us an
Well,
overview as to what happened.
first off, I spoke with the leader at the time, Mikkel, who I do have deep respect for, because he was very kind about it. We didn't have a really big, debacle about when I left, and me and Michael made up about all of our differences, and I joined the party. Um, Obviously, I didn't think I was going to get a seat at all, but I thought, hey, it's better than having a Sunnyson's government where we've seen chaos and confusion. And now I think Chocolate, who's just taken over recently, I think he's done a good job. He's been very nice, always answer, answering my DMs, always been generally he's just generally a nice guy to work with. I do respect him in that regard. But what I think what sets him out from every other leader is that they're not. He's not ambitious. He's not like Sunnyson's, who's just going to try and do everything she can to steal the job of prime minister. I mean, I actually had a I actually was sent, and I think I'm going to share this with you, a little DM of her trying to convince the leader of Solidarity to vote against the budget.
Oh right, let's have a
It is in
look.
your DM. Oh wait,
Um,
but
all right, I see.
I mean, the reason I joined Cavaliers is because I'm sick and tired of all these power-hungry politicians such as Davos, such as Sunnysons, who have only are in politics just because they want to control everything and run the country into the ground.
Hmm. Yes, I would agree. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as call Davis power hungry. I don't think he's that sort.
No, no, sorry,
He's
that was my words. That was my words.
he's how would I describe Davis? He's quite a loud individual. He's very outspoken.
He's
Which
Donald Trump.
is yeah, almost. I don't know. I like to think of adapted as a Donald Trump type. I've called him a Donald
Mm.
Trump laugher before, but he likes to think he's Donald Trump. Um, oh God, we're getting stormed. I genuinely I don't know how these people are getting in because we're getting raided by 4-star, but um I've literally locked the server, so
Mm,
I'm not sure why people are still managing to get in. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, very outspoken individual, but I wouldn't call him power hungry. I think he loves the
mm,
anti-establishment sort of vibe.
yeah.
He does want to get into parliament, but the way the system is set up, you need like it's so split that you need a coalition, right? And 4-star is very like on their own. They don't really work with the other parties that much unless they get something from it. And I can kind of see why, because I was part of that decision process in some elements, but um, there was certain demands, and there's certain things as well. Like you couldn't just go and attack certain people and then change
Yeah,
your opinions on
exactly.
them
And
unless you've
the
got a
little.
reason to. Like I wouldn't have come over to the
Mm,
Cavalier Party, for example, if Michael had still been in charge. Um, I have respect for Michael, but one of the
mm,
reasons why I went to the 4-star party, I felt like we needed some new faces. Chocolate is a great example of a new face, and I think he's going to do a
indeed.
really good job.
Yeah. And, at the end of the day, I think what we have seen is that people just. Sorry, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm coughing from a little cold here. It's just that, in my view, 4-star in theory was a good idea to fight against the establishment. But the problem is that what we saw with them in the Soc Dems in the previous term was chaos. It was legitimate chaos.
Hmm.
And, you know, look, I don't always agree with Michael Rothschild, but he definitely did bring stability. I will give him credit on that. He did bring stability. And that's why I, came back to worked for Cavalier, tried to get him to be elected. Because, when I voted for SocDem, I voted for Sun in the previous election when she came in. And I regret that. I do. Because if I'd known how much chaos it would bring, I would have never voted for her. And I think look, I disagree with Michael on many things, but I do think that he is a good prime minister and he does bring stability that was desperately needed after a military government, after a government who failed to pass their own budget.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't like the military. I think they should just gone for an early election, if I'm honest. But the
Mm,
Social Democrats were gone. Yeah, no. Glad they're out. Glad they're out. Um, and I think that ultimately the only people that can really stop that is the Cavaliers. Otherwise, you just risk splitting. I don't know. I suppose it's not really it's proportional representation, so you don't really split the vote. But I want to have a stronger, united, um, be a part of a strong, united movement on the right things. And we've got the
mm.
Nationals. They seem to work well with. Um, I've been
Nationals are
critical
all
of the
right. The
Nationals.
Nationals are all right.
I've been critical of some members of the Nationals, like Pokemon before. Do those criticisms still stand? Yes, but there are good individuals of the Nationals as well. I have a lot of respect for the right on. I have a lot of respect for Adapted Frost. I think the budget they've put out there, quite frankly, is great. I will talk about that later at some point. I promised. I know I said I would, and I will eventually. Right? Let me get around to it. I think we do have the Chancellor himself watching, so he seems to be eager to hear my review of his budget. But we will get to that at some point. Although I did express
Mm-hmm.
my support for that in a letter, so you can be assured it will be a positive
Oh,
review.
I believe that there is a little statement about your resignation from 4-star. Would you like me to read it?
Let's have a look. Is it a new one? Um,
Yeah, it's a new one.
all right, let's have a look then. Let's read it out. I'll read it out myself. Then there we go.
Wh-
Right. Response to Adrian J. Williams' resignation. To all 4-star party supporters, 4-star party acknowledges Adrian's resignation and wish him well on his future endeavours. Regarding his statement on saying our behaviour as a party are completely false, the party is an extremely high standard regarding behaviour, and anyone that does not meet behavioural standards are removed from the party as a whole. I'd also like to comment about the uniform problem during Parliament, as we made the decision to make the uniform partially redundant, to remove the armband from it being used in events involving the Star Party. I'd also like to congratulate the appointment of our new chairman, Hemsright, signed Op Vulcan. Okay, Op Vulcan, that's an interesting one. Right, I'll give a little response to that. Thank you for the wishing well on my future endeavours. Thank you. Now, this is written by Op Vulcan. Now, Op Vulcan is he's one of the sort of people from the old iteration of the Four-Star Party, and he came along. He was in the original proposed cabinet, but I think he was like the transport secretary or something. But he didn't really do very much, so the decision was sort of made to drop him from that, and we ended up
And
putting
I think
these.
it's quite an insult to just basically say, you know, oh, nothing was meant by the uniforms. I mean, there was something there. I mean, they tried to basically make them look like, a certain organization from Germany.
Yeah.
They had every intention of looking like that, and then they're just saying, "Oh, we didn't try to." I mean, it's completely ridiculous, and it needs to be called out.
Yeah. But yes, I would agree with you. I was going to say the same thing in a minute, but you've just said it for me, so thank you. That's a good thing to say. Yeah, I mean, come on. We've seen the uniforms. There's pictures of them holding order papers, doing stuff with
It-
it. If you know what the order papers do, you know what they do, right? So it's quite clearly what that design take inspiration from. They are removing the armbands. I can confirm that, and they want to wear the exact same uniform without them. I
And these are the
honestly,
same guys.
I don't think they're going to be too successful with moderation with that, but we'll see. I
But
mean,
like these guys want to try and be in government. These people want to, lead. They say they want to lead the country, but they're not setting a good example, are they? I mean, like wanting to be like a certain organization is not really show anyone that they're ready to be the leaders of the country. I mean,
yes,
when I saw the pictures, I was watching the session in the gallery the other day, and I was like, like, oh my god, what the hell are they wearing?
mm,
Like honestly, they are an actual embarrassment. They are an actual embarrassment.
yes, I would. Yeah, it's not a good. That's the thing as well. That's another reason why I don't want my name to be dragged into that. I've built myself a
Well, of course you
reputation
don't. Of
here.
course you don't
I've
want to
built
be dragged
myself.
into a.
I've built myself a reputation here. I've got to show. I've got
Mm.
the face of British television. And I don't want to be, then dumped out of the community because my colleagues are dressed as members of the FS.
Fascists.
Yeah. So, you know,
Like, I
that's that.
mean,
Also,
I get where you're
I've seen
coming
a
from.
comment in our chat asking if they want to bring any other guests on. Other guests are welcome to attend. If you'd like to come on, do send me a DM. We can bring other people on. But I'd rather have a guest on than it just be me. So if you'd like to come on, please do let me know. I
Mm.
love having guests on, but if you want to come on, it's got to be a voice chat. I can't just have random people storming my party. Sorry, my party, my studios. Anyway,
Mm.
how the hell is all these
Um,
people on? How
I
are
thought
you
you locked the
muted?
server.
No. Oh, I did not mean to ban you. Alright, because there's a character called All, and I typed his name, and I forgot that.
Yeah, but can we just talk how beautiful the new parliament looks at the moment? Anyone ban me?
I'm trying to. Anyway, I can't. There's so many of them. Why do all these accounts exist? Right, let's try and. Oh, hang on. I'm missing a. Oh, let's try that. There we go. That should have worked. But anyway, as I was saying, we've seen. God, I've lost track of where I was now. Thanks to all these people coming in.
Mm.
Where were we?
We were talking about the new parliament.
Oh, the new parliament. Oh, I love the new parliament. It's great. It looks
It is a
amazing.
great parliament.
It looks amazing. I love it. I love all
Yeah.
the animations and the scene emotes as well.
I mean, the last one looked way too big, but now with, the new one, it actually feels like every chair, every seat is actually being filled instead of like 70% of the parliament just being empty.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Right, but yes, that is the parliament. It looks great. I love it. Now the next thing I'm going to move on to, I was going to do this a little bit later on when it was just on the show, but I like having company, so I'll do it now. We'll talk about the budget. So if anybody else does want to come on, you are very much welcome to send us a DM. We love our guests on the show. I mean, we can have debates. I can have, how many seats do I have on this chair? I have quite a few, but not, unfortunately, there is not room for individuals known as Lord Willie in my studio. I don't know why there's a 4-star protest going on in here. But yeah, anyway, if you want to come on and talk or debate, you are perfectly welcome to. Any what way. Yes, so the budget. We'll talk about the budget now because I've been meaning to get around to it for ages. And the budget, it's a good budget, I like it. It's a solid budget. So let's go through it. Well, first off, the main thing that stood out to me was the increase in spending for the public services. Now, this is something I've wanted to do. I thought I'd hit a record-breaking 1,800. I thought I couldn't stick any more in that than they have, but they put up to 1,900. So that's a nice hefty sum. What it's done is they're splitting it down into between the 3 services, and there's like an extra, I think that's the 1,000 gets split between them, and then there's an extra 900 which is going to go to the top people based off of activity. So it basically opens up the awards to more people, which is something I advocated for. I wanted to have 2 awards for each service, but this new thing, I don't know how they're going to make it work, but it's going to be like a new pot that the top people will end. I think it's like a lottery or something. I don't know, for the top people based off of activity. I think that's what's going on with that. So that's great. I like that. It means we're getting more Robux out to more people, which is something I'm advocated for previously. And it was a feature of the opposition budget as well, but in my original performance. They've changed it a little bit, but I like it. What else have we got? So there's the treasury. I need to get the specific numbers up because I just went off of that off the top of my head because that was one that stood out to me. But the treasury, they split between several different areas. They've got quite a lot going into transport, which caught my eye at first, and I was quite fast to critique that. And I raised that in Parliament on Friday, I think, back when I was still a 4-star MP and whatnot. Let me try and go through and find the budget quickly. It should be in the submissions channel. There we go. Budgets. I feel like we are getting raided again. They keep making. I've never seen so many like fake accounts in my life. Bloody hell. Right. Anyway. Here we go, the budget. So let's go down to the treasury. So that's 2,800 Robux for the treasury, 1,000 for British Business Awards. So that's just going to be kind of, I don't know how they're going to do that, but presumably just some general business awards thing that's going to get distributed amongst different businesses. That's fair enough. That generally comes with all budgets. 600 for grants. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. One of my critique of grants, or a big critique of grants that actually we talked about with the Cavalier people as well, is that you end up getting all this Robux going in towards grants, and then nothing happens. The company just goes inactive. So I hope there's measures put in place to avoid that. I would be very happy if that is the case. But That is that side of that. Then there is 1,200 Robux, which is going to go to the transport industry.
Unfortunately, Adrian, I do have to go, but it's
Okay,
been an
no worries. Thank you very much for
honor to
coming
be on
on.
the show,
It's great to have you on.
and I wish you all the best.
And you, take care.
Bye bye.
Take care. Right, if there's anybody else that wants to come on, do send us a DM. I do love having guests on the show. But yes, top 5 to 10 active people from each service. I've just been told by the Chancellor as to who. I'm presuming that's adapted for us to count. It seems like it. But yeah, top 5 to 10 active people from each service at the top of the lottery for that thing, just to confirm. So that's good. I like that. Let's go back to the treasury section. So we got 1,200 Robux towards driver incentive schemes. So the way this is going to work is there's going to be 240 Robux being awarded per week over the course of 5 weeks. So we'll keep things fresh and going constantly. And that is the idea of the Chancellor here, is that will then drive up activity there. Now, 1,200 Robux is a lot of money. That's double what I wanted to put in there in my proposed budgets. And so that's the question I raised to him on Parliament on Friday. But the response I was given was, a fair response. And it's the case of, transport is very inactive. And that's a fair statement. If we look at other companies, and let's go on Westbridge, right? You're likely to see RAC or on NRS on there. They're both quite active companies. The recovery sector does pretty well. Catering, I don't know what that's like. I think that's fallen off a little bit. But that's kind of always been a little bit like that. There's only so much you can really do. It's more fun if there's like events going on. And then if we look at transport companies, I used to work within the transport sector, so bloody hell, there's more. I really am getting annoyed by this. Oh well, it's fine. We'll just keep banning all of them. But yeah, going back to my point, the transport sector, that's dying off a little bit. I'm sure we can try and work to revive that. Sorry, not transport sector. I mean, as in vehicles. I mean, like logistics. RCS, Mountbatten, Express. In fact, that got nationalised, if I do recall correctly, by the previous BAF government, I think, just before the election. And then RCS is that's still a private company, but that's been a little bit more inactive, so that's fine. But if we look at transport specifically, buses and taxis, that's been quite inactive. It's quite a big sector as well. You've got several different companies there. So the idea of this scheme, from what I've been told, is that will then boost up the activity within that area. They've done it before, so it's tried and tested, and hopefully it pays off. It's a big sum, so it'll be a bit of a gamble, but hopefully we can see some boosts there. I think frequent rewards will definitely earn that, but hopefully we can see some of the things implemented inside logistics as well, because I like logistics. As I said earlier, I was involved with an RCS. I worked as team leader and supervisor and stuff, so fairly junior management sort of levels, but I still hold it. It's still a part of time I was with. But apparently Mountbatten Express got nationalised after the election. Oh well, it got nationalised anyway. That's my point. So that is the Treasury side of that. Pretty solid. MOJ, Ministry of Justice. This is exactly the same as it was in the opposition budget that me and Chocolate put forwards. In consult with Michael, sort of consulted on this as well, and a bit of input from the right on as well, and a little bit of input from Davis, but mostly me and Chocolate, to be honest. So the Ministry of Justice is going to get 300 Robux, which 150 of which will go towards barrister / prosecutor of the month, and then 150 will towards the bar exam scheme. So if you don't know what that is, the bar exam is like the exam that lawyers have to take before they can be qualified as a lawyer, about the legal processes, law, etc. So they can, it's how they're sort of qualified as a lawyer. It's a industry-wide standard. You can't be a lawyer unless you've taken it. And whoever gets the best marks on it will get a reward of 150 Robux. This budget is monthly, so that's how that works. That's fair enough. I agreed with that on the opposition one. I agree with it on here. It's exactly the same as what we put forward back then. And we've seen cutting down on the waste, or I suppose it's waste. There was a lot of wasted money there originally, which I'd cut down in my budgets and so on. And that is literally it. So you may notice there is no Northern Ireland aspect. That's because the Northern Ireland budget is now controlled by Northern Irish group staff, so they get their own budget for the local council, whatever they do with that themselves. So that is not on the main budget anymore, which is great because it means there's more money to go elsewhere, which is why they've been able to put up the Home Office to 1,900, as well as by cutting down on civil servant, schemes as well. Something I wanted to do historically as well. We are getting another raider of the studios. Our security teams are really active today. I think this is a case for private security companies, quite frankly. I know they've been told not to happen before, but we might as well grab them. But yeah, MOJ, they've cut all the civil service costs down, which is great as well. The other thing as well is development projects, 5,000 Robux. That's standard with every single budget. You cannot change that. And there's like a 50% chance that what the government wants to do will be added. So, they have a rough say of what gets added, but I don't know. They just kind of do their own thing, the developer who does that. But there we go. That's my budget review. That's kind of all I have to say about it. If I was there yesterday, what would I have voted? Well, I obviously would have voted in favour. As I said, I've supported it, and I've given my reasons why here. My only initial criticism was the substantial amount going towards transport, but given the explanation, I'm quite happy. And I think it will be great. I think it's a much better budget than the one that the Social Democrats put forward, where they were going to stick 800 Robux in towards, foreign pockets essentially. So that is my takes on the budget and everything. And there we go. That's pretty much everything I've wanted to cover on today's show. We've talked about my defection. We've talked about the budget. We've talked about the state of Parliament. We've been raided by millions of alt accounts. The security has been very active today in the studios. I need to find a way around that because we need to upgrade our security systems, I think, because they're being targeted. But yeah, that's everything I want to talk about. So thank you all very much for listening. Do go and support me in the Falklands election if you are registered there. I am running as an independent, and I will try and make that active because I don't think either of the other two candidates will. Ammunition Technician's just been, he seems like a decent individual, but so far as chief executive, he hasn't really done anything. And then the other guy, I don't even know who that is. So vote Adrian in the Falklands if you live there. And with that, thank you very much all for listening. That's pretty much all I want to say. Have a lovely rest of your evenings, and I will see you whenever the next airing of the show is, which is probably not going to be for a week because I'm gone. I'm going away. I'm having a nice little time. But I'll be back, and then there'll be more shows. There'll be more of me in politics, so do watch the space. I'll see what happens. I don't know what's happening for me. I don't have a plan. We'll see what happens, Live, laugh, love. Thank you all for watching. WilliamsTV, Adrian Show. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a lovely